I am Marvina Eseoghene Newton. I am the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Leeds, Angel of Youths. At the moment, I'm also doing Advancing Health Equity, where I am looking at racial trauma and the impact on health inequality. I'm a servant leader, I think. It's something that I'm working on, being a servant leader and being a more compassionate leader, a racially trauma-informed leader, a culturally humified leader, an ally leader. So I meet anyone and I'm now in that space of saying, how can I be your ally? How do I act on the inequalities and listen to your voice and learn and unlearn my own unconscious bias and check my privilege? And it's like I have this inner dialogue with myself when I'm like, oh, I would like to do that. And I'm like, you've done it already, so who else needs to do that? A servant leader is seeing the light in someone and seeing what the inequalities are there, stopping them from doing what they need to do to be the divine creator they are, and then saying, hey, I see you. What do you need? How can I be of service to you? Irregardless of who you are, we're all creators. And for years, I never was able to say I was a creator because being born Nigerian, you had to do, you're going to become a doctor, going to be a lawyer. And rediscovering yourself and knowing that, if I look at it from a life course point of view, it's very informative how you see yourself creating things, influencing. And leadership for me is, I have to lead me first, authentically, honestly, undiluted, flaws and all. To remember what's forgotten when it comes to yourself, history, legacy, creating change, and influencing things. If I got a piece of paper and I crinkle it, when you first get the paper, it's straight. I could try and straighten it out, and it would never go back to straight. That's what sorry is. Cultural humility, racially trauma-informed, is trying to prevent you from saying sorry to me. Creating spaces that's just equitable. Think about me before I come into the room. Make allowances for me. Identify, don't wait for me to tell you. If you want me there, you will cater to my needs before I get there. Allyship is saying, how do I get you here? Because I know you deserve to be here. How do I stand and walk by your side with your consent, not muting your voice in any way? So yeah, for those young ones, to the younger Eseoghene, the one that came to Leeds in 2006, ooh, Leeds was hiving. It was just a melting pot of beauty. This London girl got lost in it, and the source of Leeds. Armley. Gay crasher in a town. We can't say certain people's names who were DJs back then. And it's just a vibe. It was Black Joy. A group of us from London, East London, from just coming. And I was just surrounded by Black excellence, smarts, audacious, unapologetic, allowing. Was community. That's what you need. Find your tribe. If you don't have it, build it. And do it again and over again. Reinvent yourself as much as you want. It's your story, main character energy all day. So what I've been doing, accountability is about me and you, right? So the first thing is me. The self-censorship we do to ourselves is the first problem. When you censor yourself and you honestly, constantly ask for permission to be in spaces, asking to be on a table, I supply the wood for that table. Make yourself into that space as an individual saying, you know what, perfectly imperfect and that's okay. I don't know what I don't know, and that's cultural humility. I am who I am, and I'm having this experience that needs support. I love the fact that when I think about the disparities, in a way, I'm more a restorative thinker. So I don't like talking about the problem. We know what the problem is. It's the wicked problem. I don't know what people want to make it look like they don't know. But if you don't know, let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is that we know racism, institutional racism, affects everything around us. But people don't want to say it exists. That's what the problem is. How can you not know there's a racial contract working and doing what it's meant to be doing? Listen, okay, let's make it clear. Let me break it down for them so they understand what the assignment is. And yes, I'm trying to... It comes with ease now. There's no anger because you understand the assignment. The system is working the way it's working. It's meant for the selective few. And when black bodies are used as, or vilified, weaponized, idolized, sexualized, it creates so much things. You have to make us the other. The othering is the problem. That's why, if you remember when I started, I said, you need to know who you are. Don't self-censor yourself. Decolonize your mind first. I'm decolonizing my mind on a daily basis. My body, my soul, every thought I am going through, I wonder, I use this process of like, who said that? And in what context did they say it? Where did I learn that from? And when I feel that little anxiety and that tightness, because fear is just false evidence appearing real. So I'll be like, where's the facts? Where are the figures? Can I feel it? Can I touch it? Can I sense? Okay. And opinions, someone said to me, a promise sounds nicer to a fool. I don't need words, I need deeds. And there's so much words and so much tick box and saying, yeah, we know, we've got the mama reviews and the 20 plus, there's so much telling you that the inequalities exist. You guys have doctorates, you've done research. But have you imagined someone going into the kitchen to cook? Imagine if I come to you, what is the problem with the black community? Why are we not hearing the voices? So the person asking that question has asked, what's the problem? And then send someone, that young man wants to eat pounded jam and okra, right? Before you go and ask him what to eat, do you know how to make pounded jam and okra, right? Oh, you don't? But don't worry, we're still going to ask him, what do you want to eat? And then this guy goes, I'm starving, I will have some pounded jam and okra, assorted meat, you know, with a little bit stew, it has to be spicy. Okay, anything else? And jar Fanta on the side. No problem. You take the order, you go to the kitchen to someone who doesn't know how to even pound yam. Well, we're going to try and do what we think and jam it all over it. And I said what I said, and it is what it is. And if you understand it, you know what I mean. And not only do you now make what's your version of what you think this young man might want, you never go back to that young man to ever give him that food. That's what the problem is. We build systems, we build projects, we build ideas, we have consultations with no co-production. Voice and influence is dead because we pretend that we're doing a voice and influence, not acknowledging what the barriers might be for the certain voices that we need to hear. Sometimes we stay in this revolving door and I check my privilege and I sometimes fail because I'm unmasking my own ego. So anyone listening to this, system leaders, unmask your ego, die to yourself. It's not about you. It's not that deep. What's your legacy then? Does anyone know that you came to fight for the global majority? Because we are the global majority. But some way they've made us feel like we're lesser, smaller. Make it make sense now. So the inequalities that we're facing when it comes to mental health is knowing who we are, knowing our capacity, knowing what we can do, and being silent. That's painful. Why? Who won't be depressed? So mental health gaps for me was the fact that the most confident person in the world, including me, we talk about this glass ceiling. Oh man. Let's say the fact that in between the glass ceilings there are shards that every time you go it's like a million cuts. As you move, you think you're up there and you get slapped back down. You know that kind of song, sit back down, for me, just like that every time. Life is lifing. Resilience is resources meets stress. We as the global majority just get stress. Services aren't culturally unified, there's nothing. Ooh, we're resilient people, aren't we? We are so resilient, but actually we're exhausted people, actually. Resilience is resources meet stress. That's what it is. Burnout is now the new black, right? That's why we die so much quicker. We lie to ourselves how much we don't have resources. And when I mean resources, let me paint a picture really clearly for someone. I'm gonna do it creatively so I can be racially trauma-informed. I like creating storyboards. This is how you know you're neurospicy. You have your inner monologue all the time. There's little cartoon characters that play. Sometimes they might be in manga, anime, but everyone is definitely rooting for everyone black, in my mind anyway. Doesn't mean I have any problem with anyone else. I'm an ally to so many people, but I only have 10,000 hours expertise of being me. So I do me better. If I had to reflect on how to create a racially trauma-informed society that really embodies looking out, remembering what's forgotten, and looking at advancing health equity in any form, where I envision my Leeds and my culture when I think about it, really. If I peep the game and I deep it in, it's about looking at lesson learned. Whose shoulders am I standing on? And what stories and what pains did they go through? Because they cannot let those tears ever run. It cannot run again for my children, because those lashes have been given already. How do we bridge the gap? And no more crabs in the barrel. Imagine we just support and celebrate each other, where we don't put our men and women against each other, and we work in our society with more racially trauma-informed works both ways. It's not about black to black only. Because sometimes our allies actually, I mean the real ones, not the ones that quack like a duck, look like a duck, but ain't a duck. Because I see a lot of them ones popping up, you know, with their DEI eyes and the funding that never ever longs and stays around. So what I see for the future is sustainable funding, community capacity building, not reinventing the wheel and identifying the gaps and saying to my sister or brother, or if an ally organization wants to do a project, you don't know how to make my okra, do you? I might not know how to make it in the big scale you want, but you know what? Walk with me, talk with me, give me the resources and then let me do it. Don't worry, we all can play in this field. If I wanted to bring it together in a nice way, what I want, I need every organization to sign a racially trauma-informed contract. Because there's no point me and you saying you want to serve me if you don't want to acknowledge that the system is institutionally racist. There's no conversation to be had. And now I've started working with people like this. You know what, you're amazing. I see what you're trying to do is really great. I would love to be your ally, but first, in that reciprocity, can we just agree on this one thing? Life is life in, people are people in, and institutional racism is rife. Are you down for the cause to be culturally unified and be racially trauma-informed? If you are, I would love to work with you. If you're not, don't worry. I'm still happy to work with you, but make sure you do not give me any vicarious racial trauma in the process. Because that's the thing, we are burnt out from constantly having to go through this, begging, please sir, can you see me? Can I have some more? But come out from here, I don't want some more. What I want you to do, co-liberation, it's not an oppression Olympics, guys. Yes, you can have two truths. The world is burning and everything's going wrong. But please, let's just be activated humans. It's not about being an activist. Be a person with compassion. Be a person, don't be about the stats. Don't use the words, we want to be trauma-informed. Well, racism is making us, it's killing us. It affects our mental health. It affects the way we live. It affects what jobs we get. It affects, my mom gave me Marvina just because she knew Eseoghene was not going to get me a job. That's how it started even before I was born. So if you look at it from a life course point, your mom, from knowing that they're having you, already is worried that you're not going to be accepted. So this is what I'm saying. We have to code switch so much that we whiplash ourselves. So for my brothers, my sisters, the global majority, and those allies that want to love and support us and be in the trenches with us, I want healing. That's what we need. We actually need to heal. We actually need to be honest about our pains, and we actually need to look in the mirror and say, the problem is the problem. It's not fair. How do I build the resources to handle the adversity of this stress called institutional racism? That is the gist of the situation now.